Kenny from Peyton's Machines has convinced me to do a build-off or Mad Mike Summer Bash. And since he has a bit of experience making small vehicles, we decided to make half-scale rx7s. He's going to make a series 1 to 3 and I'm going to make a series 6 to 8. So after this video, make sure you go check out Peyton Machines' crazy channel. So since I'm out of action, recovering from my last shoulder surgery, it's time to hop on the computer and draw up the model so I can then slice it up ready for 3D printing. I found a model that was sort of close of an rx7 and I really needed to widen it to fit the go-kart chassis. So I started making up my own flares for the wheels. First I used surface modeling to try and pump the guards out a bit, but it took quite a long time and I couldn't get it perfectly even. I did use this method to patch some other areas though, and I ended up going with just drawing 2 different planes and then lofting between the 2 planes, and this gave me a real clean, nice pattern, and I was pretty happy with the wide body kit I'd made, designed for this rx7, all half scale. Then onto the 3D printing. I use Orca Slicer with these tree supports to hold the thing up, because I have to print most of these parts on the edge, and I print them all. I got a 300 by 300 volume. First print done. Then I just use a file to square up the edges a bit that I'm going to join together. Then with a soldering iron and a little piece of filament, I just go along and tack them all together. Actually a lot easier than it looks, and I found this quite fun actually. A few close-up shots here of how I started doing it. I tape up the front side and then I use a soldering iron to tack the back side, so the tape just holds it in place. But I can hear a bit of a racket in the background. Let's go see what Dad's doing, eh? Looks like it's missed grass, but look, does a nice job, that mower. Alright, back to work now, and I'm getting a bit of a technique going for this plastic welding business with the soldering iron. You can actually get quite a nice little weld if you try a little bit harder. Not that it really matters, it's all getting fiberglassed over. Then once I got the inside welded, I pulled the tape off and put super glue into the cracks on the front side, just to give it a bit more strength when I'm moving it around. It doesn't all fall to pieces. I've been looking for a go-kart frame for a while and one came up, so I drove out and see if I wanted to buy it. Alright, I've just come to pick up this go-kart frame here, everything that I need. But check out all the carts this guy has. It's got all along here, these are all KTs I think. And he's got a grass cart here, little 125 pit bike motor by the looks. Looks like a 2-stroke 125 there, maybe that's an 80 actually. Whole bunch of 3-wheelers, little 125s, oh no, 70cc 3-wheelers, Hondas. Little stock car, more go-karts, 2 more carts here. It's like another 125 motocross engine. What is that? Yamaha, be a YZ, and looks like is it a Honda, maybe a CB or something like that, maybe an old XR. And this one here is cool. That looks like a, I think he said that's a YZ125 as well. This here, what is this thing? It's like a CRF 250, I guess. And he's got another big red out here. There we go, heaps more stuck together now. Looks pretty cool. And I've got my new go-kart frame down here. So with the body loosely mounted on here, it looks pretty cool. Got to be careful with the sun as it melts the PLA. But I'm going to have to move the rear axle back a little bit, about 150 mil. Alright, I've been wrenching on this thing for a little while, just doing a few little modifications, and I'm able to use my arm a little bit more now. I've had it out of the sling. So there's a bunch of spaces that are usually behind these wheels, so I need to narrow up the front so it will be more proportional to the body. I'm also wondering if I can run these wheels on backwards so they're further in. I took these spaces out of the rear wheel so it goes in further, but I probably have to cut the axle to move it in more. Got the axle moved back to where I want, and I think I'll just make up another brace, but the problem is the brake caliper. The brake lines aren't going to reach, and I want to be able to swap it back to standard quite quickly. Just putting it in the sun for a little while buckled the PLA, which is super annoying. PLA is bad for that, but there will be a lot of body filler going on. And this back window, it's pretty messed up. But I looked in actually the model, the 3D model is messed up, so I might actually cut this piece out and reprint it a bit nicer shape. Okay, the last part of this half is done, but there's been a few mistakes and a lot of support material, and I'm on my 4th roll, so that's 4 kilos, but I reckon my car half probably weighs about 3.5 kilos, maybe a bit less. So this piece here had a massive lump in it, and I thought maybe if I heated it up with the heat gun here I could stretch it out, but it's just turned it into a big mess, so I might even reprint this whole front bonnet, which is super annoying. I just reprinted the bonnet all thicker, lots of pieces. A problem I'm having with this shell is it's super floppy through here. I've actually cracked this part. So Dad's got some number 8 wire, and I've just bent it into shape, which will fit inside there. I'm just going to tape that in there. This will all get more rigid once I put the Perspex windows in, but until then I need to do something about it. So as the seat is pretty rough anyway, I've cut it back to see if I can get it to lean back as much as I would like. It may be enough. Okay, I'm going to have to try and maneuver myself into here without hurting myself or breaking anything. I do fit, but I need to be way further forward. If I go froggy legs a bit, that'll give me a lot more room. Let's try it with the body on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the whole top lift up like what a funny car does. So it's easy to get in and out, and it will just pull it down on gas struts or something. because getting in any other way would be impossible. Since these carts have the seat built off to the side, this bracket is off to the side, and it even curves in to allow room for the engine over here, but I'm going to have mine back here, so I'm going to have to cut this off and move it. It's going to be a pain. I really didn't want to modify the frame, but I have to. I can always put this back on the other way later. Making a bit of progress here, but I got a video sent from Kenny. Let's see what he's up to.
How you going? I'm Kenny from Pattern Machines, and this is the half-scale rx7 I'm building. So I started with a first generation paper cutout model, and then I scaled up to cardboard, and now I've just cut out the aluminium sheet. I'm still working on chassis and everything, so she's looking pretty bare, but I've got an engine. It's a 160cc 6 rotary engine, puts out about 8 or 10 horsepower, something like that. But knowing Daniel, I'm sure he's got something vastly different up his sleeve, and looking forward to seeing what he's got in mind. So once you finish watching his video, jump over and see what I've been up to.
Just getting ready to trim this axle down, but I'm going to shift all the bearings and the brakes this way so I don't have to make too many new keyways. I might end this video here. So thanks for watching. Make sure you check out Pattern Machines. I'll leave a link in the description and also in the end screen. Thanks for watching. See you next time.